Can I tell you guys a funny story?
Of course.
I had to pick up Nixon today. So I pick him up from school. I take him over to Nick's to drop him off. Marty's in the backyard. And he gets out of the car and Marty's like barking. And he goes, Marty, shut the up.
Nixon said that?
Attaboy.
And I was like,
He hears that, doesn't he?
I was like laughing, and then I was like, honey, don't say that. You can't be saying that. And then he was like, shut the up. God damn it.
You're just encouraging him to say it at that point.
Parenting fail. It was so funny. And his
And it's
little,
hard not to laugh. Yeah.
in his little voice, I couldn't resist laughing.
It's language tabs, and it's a meaningful
Yeah.
phrase.
Hello and welcome to Table for Five with no reservations. Take a seat at the table for a fresh, sweet, salty, tart, and pleasantly bitter conversation.
Hello, and thank you for taking a seat at the table. This is our 2022 wrap up, and we're going to just be talking about the year as the podcast, as us personally, everything, not everything that's happened in 2022 would be a really long time if we did that. But a seat at the table is Tabitha,
Hello.
Jamie,
Hi.
Rachel,
Hey, everybody.
Jen,
Hi, everyone.
and I'm sure you don't recognize my voice right now, but it's me, Kim McGuy. I'm not sick. I don't want you guys to worry. I just have no voice for absolutely no reason. And everyone just thinks I'm sick, but I'm not. First of all, we'd like to thank everybody for listening. We really appreciate all your support. It's been an exciting year for us. We've hit 25,000 downloads. I think we're actually up to 27,000 at this point. We have recorded 54 episodes and have 37 guests. So we're pretty proud of that. And we thank you guys for all your support and listens. We really appreciate it as we, are heading into 2023. It's hard to believe this year has gone by in a flash, but at the same time, when I think back to like the beginning of the year, I'm like, that was this year still. It's pretty surreal.
Longest goddamn year on.
Yes, it really.
I actually disagree.
I made a reel on Instagram and it was like 50 pictures from 2022, and I'm like, this all happened this year. Like, this is like unbelievable. Yeah, so who wants to start? Rachel?
Every time. I
Flanagan.
mean, seriously, is it every time, listeners?
Miss Flanagan.
I love
baby
Rachel.
Jesus.
I feel like it's a game of chicken wheels.
I know.
All of a
Right.
sudden I saw nobody was in the squares. Everyone just disappeared.
I believe I erased this entire year out of my memory. So that's my wrap up, people. 2022.
It's great.
A
Tabs.
real
Well done.
survivor
Listen.
story.
We're gonna probably all have to help each other out. Remember what actually happened this year. We're all
I
here
remember
for it.
last Tuesday, to be honest with you. So
I'm happy to be finishing out this year. This is one of those where we moved again and we transitioned again, and like just so much stuff has changed. And I feel like as we, kind of near this middle winter, I feel like, again, it's just been so much transition and so much growth, not necessarily a lot of progress, but we've come so far. It's just so weird to have that. It's like with everything we take on, you either fail or you succeed with it, and you get a little further. But I mean, we've not changed. It's just like everything around us has. I don't know. Happy New Year, people. It's been like 3 allergy seasons and 50 med changes and 3 schools and
A partridge
2
in a pear
addresses.
tree.
Partridge in a friggin' pear tree. I'm glad we didn't count our curse whistles for our 5th.
Oh yeah.
We should have done that. No,
I know.
no way.
Oh my God.
That should be a Christmas song. 50 med changes, 2 moves, 2 new houses. 3 schools started.
and a policeman that kicked in my new door. You've had an adventure, Rachel. This year has been an adventure, really. Looking back.
I was like, that's who had a police officer kick in their door, but that was me.
And this
That
was
was you.
in a stranger danger situation where there was a
God.
Well, and
stranger
Jen had the police
And
to
that
her
was-
house this year also.
for a
Jen
spider.
is way better.
Spider.
Have we told that
This-
story on the podcast?
This isn't about me right now, is it? Back to Rachel.
Well, they used the ramshackler to get in, but I do think that Jen's, what's the ramshackler called? What's that rammer?
Ramshackler. The thing
The
that
heave ho?
busts through the door. Yeah.
Yeah, the hood rat
course.
finder.
Rachel, first let's get down with what happened at your house with the police. So the
So we
listeners
moved
can
into
follow
this
along.
neighborhood. You know, we're an autism family.
Not
You
the
may have-
greatest neighborhood, apparently.
God, it's so cute here. It's like all the houses were built in 1959. It's all the ramblers, all the sidewalks, all the like big oak trees
Street
hanging
lights.
over. Street lights. It's a whole thing. It's like a little bit Norman Rockwell in here until we come home from this ride, like to kind of give Celia a break in the day. So we come home and every single intersection in this whole grid of 1959 has a police officer in it, parked with the squad lights on. I'm like, what in the Sam hell is going on? So I paid very little mind to it. We walk in the house, like we pull into the driveway. We're going to walk in, and Billy, who listens to all of the scanners and like has the pulse on the Facebook pages in the community, he's like, oh, I'm going to go walk around the block. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I'm going to go walk around the block while there's a cop on every goddamn corner. Okay. So that's what he's about to do. So he goes to get his headphones so he can listen to the scanner about what's happening in like apparently our neighborhood. When he realizes for credit, he realized that our garage door was locked. And then his hackle went up, which is that part of a man where you're like, stranger danger, where the hair on your neck stands. So then he tells me about it. I run to go get the police. Essentially within seconds, a drug dog runs past me. Then all the police, all the sheriffs, all the mutual aid cops are like running past because the dirty, rotten scoundrel has put himself into the storage room in the closet of the garage where Celie has all of her dress up stuff. It looks like Elton John's backstage back there in this little room. They bust down the door, as we've discussed already, with the ramshackler for hood rat finding. They send the drug dog in, you know, the German Shepherd of beautiful like stature that's about to like eat arms off of a person. That dog, they send that dog in my garage. He alerts that there's a person in there that he cannot get to, which is like, that's exciting stuff. Okay. They pepper sprayed the entire building with all these 5 bullets of pepper sprays, which is intense. Then they find this fella that looks like George Costanza stuck in Celie's Elton John glitter festivus room. And I'm sorry, it is important to note he looks like George Costanza and he's in one sock and his sweatpants are pulled up. Why are you in one sock? Can't you find some mermaid tail for in there or like one shoe? Can't you find a rain boot or a galosh? Jesus. Certainly they're probably the same size. That's what I'm saying. This little short fella crying and barfing pepper sprays comes out right as we move to the neighborhood. Now we've tried to like establish with the police, we're the Flanagans, welcome. Like we're probably going to need you if there's ever a streaking girl running by. That's mine. Could you bring her back home? But now we know them all because we were that house where
There goes the
the
neighborhood.
dirty, rotten scoundrel
The
George
escaped.
Costanza was hiding in.
I just
See-
love of all the criminals, the hardcore criminals that could have broken your garage. It was George Costanza.
And he's like got this meth substance in my kid's dress up room. Like, okay, George. Anyways, attorney tabs, not that you give legal advice free to the table, that isn't legal advice, but he missed his hearing. So we keep getting letters because George is not showing up where he needs to be.
I mean, he is an alleged criminal at this time.
Well, he had a high-speed chase right here to the
At
Flanagans.
at least trespassing at the minimum. Trespassing on the Flanavilles property.
Was it nearly as dangerous as my trespass?
Yeah,
Yes.
Like,
hear
yes.
Jen's police story,
I'm muting.
Mhm.
Go.
please.
Oh,
Tell
well, I was
us.
actually gonna let you tell the story, Rachel.
Can I tell
Yes,
the part of it?
please go ahead.
So we're all on a call one night, and Jen was upstairs in her home because her mom was out of town, and she's walking around, and I don't know what, we're just joking around, and all of a sudden she gets really serious, and she's like, "What is that? What's on the lens?"
Wait, up the security cameras. Like they have like a Whitney Houston's property security cameras in their house.
Old
let's be clear.
school, all the squares of the different cameras.
Yeah,
Not
they-
like on your phone, but on this like, screen.
Let's clarify, that's a brand new security system, but my mother has it on her phone. I'm supposed to have it on my phone. I don't
Yeah.
put it on my phone, which is why I go up and look at the Mac computer side.
And she goes, "Is that a spider web?" And she shows us, and I'm like, "Oh, that does look like a spider web." Kind of funny at first, but then she starts to kind of freak out, and she's like, the lens is like broken, like, you know, like shattered." So we're all freaking out, but then I jump off the call because I had to go.
So it's me and Kim and Jen, and apparently someone that's shooting out her cameras, and apparently she is in imminent danger. So
I'm
we
gonna tell you this right now. There was one friend at the table who was trying to calm her down, and one friend at the table who was escalating her. I'm not gonna mention any
Thank
names.
you, Kimmy.
There's a 50-50
I'm
shot,
not gonna mention
50-50 shot at who this
any
was
names.
or wasn't.
And Jen got herself worked up, and she's home alone. And
oh, now
Kai
she
is
worked
there.
up herself, and I had nothing to do with it. That's what I heard.
And this also is the camera that was outside of Kaya's bedroom. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which leads to some of the escalation. Maybe I'm the auntie that cares the most.
Yeah. So, anyways, Jen
Yeah,
calls the
yeah.
police.
Not
and-
emergency line, not emergency line.
And the police come.
No, she
she-
says to us long before that, "Okay, I'm going to call the cops." And we're like, "Okay, great. Stay on the line with us." And she's like, "Okay, great. I would never hang
And she's
up."
like, I want you guys to stay. You're staying on the phone with me the whole time. We're like, okay, fine. So she has us in her pocket. And then she goes to the door and she's like, oh yeah, hi, Mr. Police Officer. Yeah, come on in. Boom.
Click.
Done. Call dropped. And we're like,
And Kim and
we're like, what the F happened? Hello?
even the one that was calm was escalating at that point.
I was just pissed that she hung up. We couldn't hear what was going on.
Yeah.
So then what happens, Jen?
So then the police looked at the picture and they were like, yes, this looks like a shattered window, but also we're kind of acting weird. And then Jen was kind of acting weird. It was like vacuuming and putting hands on.
Vacuuming. I don't know.
It
What
wasn't vacuuming.
happened? When you turned off the call, she made assumptions.
Oh, that I was vacuuming. I thought I was vacuuming.
What happened?
Vacuuming.
Now you were the only one there, so you have to tell us what really happened. Not the vacuuming.
I was like, I didn't vacuum. I don't know how to vacuum.
No, you didn't
myself.
vacuum, but you were like, should I vacuum? We're like, no,
You.
just open the door.
So they didn't send a police officer, they sent 2 police cruisers. And they came in and they looked at the TV full of screens, because also my mom likes, she leaves her office blinds open and it points outside. So she's like, they can see there. I'm like, well, they can see the camera at the front door with the lights on too. That's fine. I don't need to give them a bird's eye view, but it's Alexander's house. So I let him in. They look at it. The one guy's like, I think it is a spider. He goes, oh, wait, same thing that our friend that got a lot escalated. It looked shattered on the bottom. So it did look like it was shattered.
It really did. It looked like there was piece of glasses behind the lens. Like, this
Yeah.
is a problem.
Yeah.
A sniper clearly took out this camera
was
to
a
access
dangerous-
your daughter.
Dangerous situation.
And like the hole was like exactly in the middle of the camera. So this
Yeah.
person had to be good.
Good.
He was dead in the middle. Yeah. So they came in and they went outside and had a walk around and came back in. And the one guy found it
Showing the
remotely
web.
funny. The other guy, not so much. He's like, well, it's a spider. It was a spider. Yeah. And so they left him, and I believe he's still there today, just living his life. I just said, leave him, let him be. Just let him
Living his
be.
best life.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought, you know,
we got a good laugh out of that one.
you're here to protect,
lot of
serve and
police.
protect.
A lot of police in 2022.
2022, please throw down.
Well, Jamie, do you want to give us your 2022 view?
I
Yeah.
pulled
Did you have any ramshacklers or Charlotte's Webbing?
I'm trying to figure out- I started the year by going to Disney World, and that was fun. It went really well. And then I went on a trip to San Diego, which was nice with my husband, like our first time just us being away. And then I went on another trip to meet you ladies, which was awesome.
Yay.
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot
Yay.
to mention that.
We met
We
in
met-
person this year.
Yeah.
It was an okay year over here. I don't know. I didn't have any police chases, no spider attacks. What happened to me this year, guys? Nothing.
You went to
You
San
got COVID
Diego?
a couple times.
I
You
said
went
that.
to,
already.
Yep.
you
she
went to
said
San
she
Oh,
You
I've
Diego?
did?
been sick. Oh yeah, I didn't have COVID until this year, and I've now had it twice. So
Hmm.
like in a hot consecutive order.
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
3 months apart, like almost to the day.
Yeah.
It's weird. It like wants me or something.
Conspiracy.
Finally it wants you.
Finally, it's just been a year of ups and downs, but nothing insane crazy like other people I've dealt with. But I love you, ladies.
Love
Glad
you.
that we survived a year together. Another year.
Yeah.
It's been like 18, 20 months. So
So good.
Killing it.
Yeah. Well, Tabs, what about you? How was your 2022?
I will say January was all right. February, dumpster fire. From February to currently November,
Except April.
accurate description, dumpster fire.
Except for those 5 wonderful days in Minnesota.
Just kidding, in all honesty. My kids, let's go back to the silver lining of my life, my children, the beautiful babies that live in my life. Nora has had amazing growth since we moved to Montana. Nixon's doing great in kindergarten. He's also had spectacular growth. They're liking the pared back life in Montana, the slower pace, all of that stuff. So that's been good. I've had a lot of fun this year. Seen a lot of concerts, done a lot of things, made a
Got a
list.
lot of leg ink.
Got a lot of leg ink, big gorilla tattoo, if anyone wants to know on the podcast. And overall, it's been hard as shit, I would say, 2022. I'm looking forward to saying goodbye to
But Tabitha got
2022.
on a plane with 2 of her children and flew across the country, which was something you wouldn't even consider doing before.
Yeah,
So you did that. And
been
it went
taking,
well.
been,
They
it,
arrived.
it was good. Yeah, they did really well for what we expected it to be. It was a long haul, a long travel trip. Then we had to drive a couple hours after the flying. My sister, my glorious, beautiful sister, who's a godsend, came down and helped us pack up our house. I mean, pretty much loaded our entire life into a truck and then divided that truck into 2. So that pretty much sums up 2022. But I do feel like coming out of this year that I am finding myself and learning a lot of things about myself. So that's positive. Looking forward to 2023.
Me and Tabs are rounding a corner to 40.
We are.
40 starts that 2023.
And I did make a list of 40 things I want to do before I turn 40.5 because I started this list about halfway into 39. So I gave myself a year.
Nice.
And I am about halfway through the list. I recommend everyone should do this. You should make a list of things that you've always wanted to do. And then you should, whether it be 40 things or 10 things, and then start checking them off. I highly recommend because you never know what you have put aside in your life for another day. If you make a list and hold yourself accountable, you'll actually do some of these things. So
Can you give us an example of something you crossed off the list?
I got a big gorilla tattoo, I'll tell you that.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say that
she
gorilla tattoo is a
did.
big one.
Yes, she did.
And
Piano?
I bought a piano. I got
Love
a
it.
new guitar. I road trip to a small town near me. I learned a new thing, fly fishing.
Love it.
Oh, fun.
So that was cool.
Wasn't there a music festival and then you did those several dirty days in the dust?
Oh yeah, I went to a music festival in the middle of nowhere, Montana. Beautiful. So some of the things I have coming up, host a theme party. I think I'm going to do that for my 40th birthday.
I love a theme.
See a concert at Red Rocks. Jamie Ramos.
You better.
What else is on here?
There's some that are not allowed to be.
Oh, I
read
did so.
aloud.
Yes, some are
Want to
private.
borrow
Yeah.
a whistle?
Well, private, yeah.
None of anyone's business. Soak in a hot springs. I did do that recently.
Yes.
Went to Norris Hot
Nice.
Springs in Montana. One of the things is sleep in a yurt. You know,
You say urinal. Like,
A
why
yurt.
would you want
A
to do
yurt.
that?
I want to do the yurt with you. I'll sign up for that one.
surf
Doesn't
in
sound-
Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii on the 29th.
Nice.
People, surf in Hawaii is on my list. Go to a rage room. I'm gonna do that.
Excuse me, pause. What?
Rage room. Rage.
Is that where you
room.
break things?
Is
that
where you
right?
break.
Oh yeah, I would
Smash
suggest you
the
do
stuff.
that. Like you should just throw that right up on the top of that list.
Yeah, I need to
Bump
do
it
that
up a
too.
few. It's a little
Yeah.
low.
Take a trip somewhere on a train. I really want to do that.
I want to do that too.
Write a letter to my kids. So that'll be before I turn 40.5. All kinds of things. There's 40 things on this list.
Love it. Love it.
Everyone should do it. I highly recommend pick 5 to 10 things to all of our listeners for 2023 that you want to do just for you, and then check them off. That was quite the ramble about my life experiences, but that's what
Thanks
we're
for
doing
the
here.
update.
You're
Well,
welcome.
For me, 2022 has been, like I said earlier, I can't even believe some of the things have happened. It
Yeah.
actually was this year still, because it feels like so much has happened. So we all met up in Minnesota, and that was amazing. My husband came along with me. Just to keep me company while I traveled. And, I got to meet Kate Swenson from Find His Voice, along with you ladies, and Brianna and Amy, and, so many other people that we talked to. So far out of my comfort zone, like so far out of my comfort zone. But I was so glad that I did it. It was so much fun. And then I had my baby, Lexi, 18. Oh, so I had officially mom of 4. I mean, I don't really consider her an adult. She's still a baby. I don't care that she's 18, but age-wise for adults, she had her senior prom. She graduated from high school. She had her last dance recital. I mean, just these huge, bittersweet moments that were just, of course, I'm so happy and so proud, but at the same time, sad. I've been doing dance recitals since Kira's been 4 and she's 20. So, it just was hard.
Yeah.
It's nice in some ways, but in other ways it's sad. I mean, I can't really be an empty nester because Lexi technically still lives with us along with a bunch of other people. But I've been a mom since I've been a teenager. So not that I'm not a mom anymore, obviously I still am, but not having kids that rely on me so much for everything, they all have their licenses now and stuff like that. So and I can't even believe like Lexi graduated high school seems so long ago. So long ago. We went on an amazing trip. We did a big Disney trip kind of for Lexi's graduation. We did 5 days at Disney and 5 days at an Airbnb. We stopped for 2 days on the way home at South Carolina. We drove. It was great. It was a great vacation. It was just really nice to just all be together. My son met us down there with his girlfriend. So all 4 of our kids and us, and we don't know how many more vacations, although my husband's like, as long as we're paying, they're gonna come. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
how old they are.
That's how old they are.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
He assures me so. And then Kira, she is like in between a sophomore and a junior at college, but she went to stay at college this year. So she, kind of moved out of the house, not too far. She's only about 30 minutes away, but still, that was kind of a big thing. She's not that far away, but still, she's not under my roof every night.
Mhm.
I would just keep my kids here with me forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's been a lot of just so much stuff. I feel like even the Minnesota trip. I mean, I feel like that feels like it was so long.
3 years
It
ago.
really does.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does. It just, just so many things. Yeah, it's just again, like a lot of my stuff is all centered around my children. So
Mhm.
it's weird that they're growing up and I technically don't have a child anymore. 'Cause
Ugh.
like I said, I know my
It
baby's
makes me
18.
so proud of you and so want to sob.
I know. And so Lexi actually went to her friend is away at college in Rhode Island, which is just like the next state over from us. And I let her go. I mean, there was a lot of begging and a lot of me going, oh, let's see, we'll wait. Well, I finally let her go. So she went there and spent the weekend. So that was like a little weird. I mean, I got mad at her because she didn't text me and I called her at midnight and she was sleeping. It's like, oh, you're a real party animal. You're sleeping at midnight. Like, what's happening? But yeah, so I let her go, and I don't know. I don't know if you guys realize this about me, but a little bit of a control freak, and I don't like when things are not in my control. I'm trying my best to let them live their lives, baby steps. So it's very, very baby steps. So that's hard. That's like a hard transition that I've gone through. Just a lot of ups and downs with my mental health. I feel like with this time change and everything, that's why everything feels so far away, because I feel like the time change was on November 7th. I don't even know what today's date is. I feel like I've been in the dark for months.
Me
know.
too. Me too.
God,
It's so
like
hard.
17.
has it been a full moon
Four.
since last week? Like,
4/17 is our when it turns dark here.
Us
Ugh.
too.
You
It's
guys,
I
awful.
can't.
I
It's
love it.
awful.
I love it.
It's
I feel like
horrible.
my body functions so much better at this time.
Well, and my child's body does not. She's been having a super hard time, very confused about why it's dark so long. So she's like goes to bed earlier, but like she's awake longer in her room, and
mhm.
I think it's really affected her. yet. I think we've tried medicine twice this year, so, but we have Thanksgiving this week. I know this is gonna come out way after, but I'm super excited about that, and we have Christmas, so trying to get back into the non-negative. Maybe when all the Christmas lights go out, Jamie, I'll be happy about I'll never be happy about it being dark at 4 o'clock.
That's kind of what I love about it here. In January, I'll be pissed.
We don't have
So
lights.
cold.
We don't have like, I know, and that's the other thing, it's getting so. Last week it was 77 last weekend, and now it's like 30, so it's like,
Kimmy, we can gripe all we want about weather, but Tabitha Cabrera is used to like 107 on a cold day.
It's
And
freaking.
now she's in 30-degree weather like us.
It's
I
20.
can handle the weather. It's the darkness that I hate. I just hate it. So
Let me just give you a rundown of what the temperature is in Phoenix right now. 60 degrees. Billings, Montana, 32.
it's 39 here, but it was literally 77 last weekend. It's like just crazy. But
Actually, today was nice here. But it has been like we were in the single digits last week. Freaking blazing cold. I'm with you, Kim. I hate the dark
and
too.
I've been on keto, off keto, on keto, off keto, on keto, off keto. I can't even keep track anymore. I start strong on Monday. By Thursday, I'm just like, whatever. What about
Yeah.
you, Jen?
What about me? It's, you know what, it's been a pretty good year. I think Kaya had the most growth she's had language wise. She's going to school and she's learning, struggling a little bit more this year than she was last, just because there's been some changes, but I mean, changes happen in life, and but she's doing really well. And I had a significant change with my work. I shifted from being in an office for 20 plus years to working from home full time. So that's actually been a pretty big adjustment, which I talked about in another episode, but it's good. I like being home. Gives me a little more flexibility with her. That's about it. Nothing too crazy. Oh, I went to Minnesota and I got to meet you ladies. And I took
Yeah.
Kai to California. We went to Sesame Place. That was so much fun. Overall, pretty steady year. Probably the best even killed year for her we've had yet. So that just means it's going to go upside down anytime. So get ready for it.
It's
We'll get ready
crazy.
for it.
I feel
Yeah.
like, I'm not sure about timeline, Jen, but Kaya was doing maybe dance last winter, but to be doing dance and gymnastics and like
Yeah,
Special
she-
Olympics.
She's
and
joined the
like
Special
swimming.
Olympics this year. Yeah, which we have never been a part of their organization. They're fantastic. It's a good year for her. She's done great.
She
Really
had
proud
a-
of her.
Can I just go back for a minute and revisit this Minnesota trip? I feel like I was a little bit depressing about my year, but people just follow along. That's the vibe of this year for me. But the Minnesota trip, there was something magical about that trip this year in April.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yes,
it was
I agree.
legitimately life-changing, I think, for
It-
all of us
it
to meet in
was.
person, but not only that, but to meet all the other moms that we've talked to
Mhm.
online, not all of them, but all the ones that could make it. And then to just be in that vibe, I mean, spectacular. That was a highlight of 2022, I will say.
Remember, there was a moment like we were all planning to go since we knew it was going to happen. And then there was like a moment we weren't sure if Taz was going to be able to go. And then, like with Jen, we literally did not know if she was going to get on the plane. and like when she did, we were like, we're going to be together. It was just so
Touch
cool.
and go. Yeah.
But
was
even
so much-
remember that it's like you got to make sure that you don't have COVID and like I
Oh,
mean there
yeah.
was just like so much going on last winter as we like got closer and closer to that happening. I don't know. I cannot wait for a round 2, which is gonna be
I said it before. I've said it on several different platforms where I said I left there not knowing how much I needed it.
Yeah.
You know, that cheesy saying, your cup is
And
full. I mean, it really
you got to
did.
do it again, kind of. Well, not meet us, but meet up with other moms.
Oh, in California.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet Samira and Kirby. Well, I met Samira at the event, but it was nice to see her again. I got to meet Kirby. Yeah. It's neat meeting all these people that you met on the internet, but obviously meeting everyone, meeting Kate, that was amazing. But I mean, meeting you ladies, that we all did this 54 times, I mean,
Yeah.
it was pretty amazing. Yeah.
And it
pretty
was so
amazing.
easy to be
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
That was the fantastic part of it. About
When
it.
Remember
you
our
know-
first lunch when it was just us, like the first time that it
Yeah.
was just the 5 of us, and it's like, well, first of all, some of us were a little bit more excited about carbs than others, but I mean, whatever. Okay. whatever. It was
Someone
pretty awesome.
ate someone's leftovers when they would only eat half their carbs. Someone ate her whole full meal, and then she would also finish Jen's.
Well,
That may have been me.
I tried to do some moderation back then. It's really gone to since then, but it's fine, people.
By day 2, I was like sick. I had to go to my room.
Everybody felt like
Oh,
crap.
I felt like garbage.
Like
such-
eating carbs
so
for the first time in
terrible.
5 months.
I didn't
I
really eat a
actually
lot of
did
carbs
so
that
good.
trip. It was when I got home. I
Yeah.
But do we want to announce why next year's even more?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is happening in 2023, people?
So this event we're talking about was Kate Swinson's Mother's Day brunch retreat, and she's doing it again next year, this time in association with her foundation, which is More Than a Caregiver. And we are going to be the official media partner of the event. So we will be there, and we're going to do our own little thing at the event, and we're just going to be around the whole time, and it's going to be so fun. We are so excited. So
excited.
I believe tickets are going on sale this upcoming month in January.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So check it out so you can come meet us. We want to meet as many people as possible. It was so great last year. We had so much fun. We cannot.
I'll put the link
much fun.
to the webpage in this episode too, so people can find it.
Yeah,
But
and
we are
impactful.
on. And when I saw our faces on that website today, I got emotional about it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't that crazy that we've gone that far? Like we were just,
Yeah.
let's try to do a podcast. And you guys, it really could have been a joke. It really could have been that no one heard it. Like the fact that we figured out how to do this is pretty insane. And now that we're like going
I
to the
would bet
public-
that by the time this actually runs, we'll be at 30,000 listens. Like it's such
Yeah.
a thing compared to late night calls with the 5 of us, solving each other's problems and supporting one another. Like it's just so awesome.
Well, we hope everybody has a wonderful new year.
Oh,
We hope you look back at 2022 yourself and reflect on all the highs and lows, because that's what it is. You know, it's the
mhm.
good times, the hard times, the blah times. That's what I call them.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Make those lists.
Yeah,
Pick
make
some
those
things
lists.
you want to do for 2023. Put them on
Gotta
a list.
take the good with the bad, and on to the next year. So happy
and
new
most
year, everyone.
importantly, thank you for taking a seat at the table. Have a
Thank
great
you for taking a
2023.
seat.
Here we go.
Here we
Bye,
come.
2022.
Happy
Thank
New
you,
Year.
everyone.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for sitting at the table for this episode of the Table for 5 No Reservations podcast. To learn more, please read the description of this episode. In there, you can also find where to sign up for our newsletter and how to become a supporter. Join us next week for more, and while you wait, check out our content on Facebook and Instagram. If you are enjoying the podcast, please make sure to subscribe and rate and review us wherever you listen. To contact us, you can email us at tablefor5podcast@gmail.com. We can't wait to sit with you again. Bye!